is for the year 2020, basic beginner's course for today. And today I'll be taking you on to everyone on a journey to actually understand what dropshipping is about. And this course is actually a beginner course. My name is Melvin, and I'll be the speaker for today. I am based in the Malaysian office, and actually my role, just to give you a background about myself, I'm actually the product marketing manager at SHOPLINE Malaysia from the product management team. And my role includes spearheading new and innovative product launches and also market analysis for the e-commerce market in Malaysia. Just a quick background about myself. I've been in the e-commerce industry for almost 4 years now, having worked in global marketplaces and also payments industries, responsible for a couple of roles in both commercial and operational. Okay, so thanks for attending today's session. Just to give you a quick note before we begin, at the end of the session, there will be a questionnaire that I will need you to complete. And because actually upon completing the questionnaire, I'll be able to actually, my team is able to provide you with the feature, the SHOPLINE Catcher feature, or the dropshipping feature that you have the AliExpress. So upon completing the questionnaire, we'll be able to enable it for you on your SHOPLINE account. And also at the same time, you'll be also given the invitation for another session later on. I'll explain later on, but just to let you know that a reminder that at the end, there will be a part where at the end of the session, there will be a questionnaire for you. And at the same time, also throughout this session, there is a chat box which you can actually use at the bottom. If you look at it, you can actually type in your questions, and we'll be able to answer you after the session. All right, or vice versa, the other way around. If you have more questions, feel free to reach out to us over WhatsApp. Now, okay, so before we begin, these are the two agendas that I'll be covering. So the first one, the first chapter is about understanding dropshipping, and these are the subtopics, which I'll go through one by one. And this is the second chapter, which is how to start dropshipping. So there'll be two parts to this the course today. And today's session should be about 45 minutes to an hour-ish. I believe that I really hope and believe that after this session, you have a better understanding about dropshipping. Okay. Now, don't forget, at the end, we have the small gift later on. So all we need you to do at the end of the session is actually a questionnaire. I will explain to you later on after this. Okay. So before I officially start the session, let me just briefly introduce you to SHOPLINE, just to give you a little bit better idea and understanding of SHOPLINE. So SHOPLINE was established in Hong Kong in 2013, and now we are spread across 6 major cities in Asia Pacific itself. We have about close to 100 team members that's currently working across these offices here. And Malaysia is actually the first Southeast Asian office. We are actually #1 in terms of platforms, or top 3 or even #1 in Hong Kong and Taiwan for e-commerce solution. We also have about close to 200,000 successful merchants that has been using our SHOPLINE e-commerce solution and been selling successfully. We have close to each year, we have close to about 3.5 billion consumers, or end users we call it, that actually trades or have transactions over our solution. Okay. Now, before I begin my first take on chapter 1, understanding dropshipping, I believe that many people have started, and more people actually in Malaysia itself have started to shop online, and has been so engaged in their daily lives with e-commerce, because especially during this period of time where the MCO epidemic has actually locked the country down. So, and that resulted in a lot of people starting to go shop online, correct? Yeah. So not only just people starting to go online and find the importance of e-commerce, but also people, and this also has brought a huge business opportunity with this trend for not just buyers, but also for sellers, people who actually found that this is an opportunity for them to actually earn more money and to start business online. So for those of you who actually took the time to attend this session today, it's a good chance for you to understand how you can quickly start an online business, and you might want to take this opportunity at this moment of time, especially with drop shipping. But of course, if you don't know how to start it, this will be a great time for you to actually learn about it in general, and then start it on. Perhaps this could be something like an inspiration for you to start doing online business through drop shipping. Okay, so these are the subtopics that I'll be covering. I'll be going through one by one. Okay, but first of all, just to let you know, drop shipping is absolutely suitable for the following groups of people. So number one is the people who are tired of the 9-to-5 routine, people who are looking for more flexibility. Perhaps you're tired of your Monday to Friday 9-to-5 work. You want something a little bit more flexible. Number two is people who have a dream of running his or her own business but does not have a clue on how to do it. You want to be a self-entrepreneur. You want to make yourself an entrepreneur. You want to be an entrepreneur, but I don't really know how to do it. So this would dropshipping is absolutely for you. Okay, and number three is people who wish to have extra income in order to gain a better life. What I mean in this is that perhaps you're a professional. You're having a full-time job, but you also want to have a side gig to make some extra income. Perhaps to support your family and also to have a better life, in general. Number four, those people who wish to have an e-commerce business, like you want to embark on e-commerce, but you do not have a particular product or you do not know what to sell. So dropshipping is also for you. And number five is you're already running an online e-commerce business, but you want to source, you already kind of know a little bit about it. You run some business just selling things online, but you want to source for more products to actually sell. And this would absolutely be for you as well. Okay. So now the question is, why should you consider having dropshipping business? I mean, there are a lot of businesses out there, but why should you consider dropshipping? I'm just going to give you quick 3 main advantages of dropshipping. Okay. So number one, you don't really need a lot of money to start this business. It's a low startup capital requirement. You just need a few couple of ringgits for domain and your website subscription fees, which you have already subscribed in SHOPLINE, for example, and maybe perhaps a little bit more for your domain to purchase your domain. And maybe because you also need to do marketing, right? So just to let people know about you and your product itself you're selling, you might need to invest a little bit in terms of, well, maybe a few hundred ringgit, for example, 300 or 500 ringgit, just to kickstart as an initial advertising expenses, for example, like Facebook advertisements. Okay, absolutely zero inventory stock up costs. Dropshipping doesn't require you to have inventory, so you don't need to worry about having inventories or stock in your warehouse or even at home in your office or in your home. Okay, so there's zero for inventory stock up costs. Number two is the entry barrier is actually really low, and you can really get started really quick. You don't really need a lot of e-commerce experience or resources to start. It's possible for you to learn even when you have almost zero knowledge of e-commerce. But as long as you have the right spirit to learn, for sure you can pick it up really fast. You don't need to worry about not having any inventories to sell at all, because this is what dropshipping is about. You don't have inventories on your own, but you actually work with the product supplier to get it out. I'll explain a little bit more details in this later on. Number three is you don't need to worry about logistics or warehousing, as I've mentioned as well. Logistics is also covered as well, and warehousing solutions also covered by the product supplier. Okay, continuous growth and development opportunity. This is absolutely important because dropship, as you know, e-commerce is rapidly growing, and not just only in terms of customers, but also the business itself is growing rapidly, and everyone's embarking on it, especially during this period of time. There's also a potential for you to not only just look into within Malaysia, but the opportunity for you to explore in terms of global e-commerce business, to expand further cross-border. Cross-border trade has become a very common in e-commerce, and it's something that allows you to actually go global as well. Okay, so that's number two. And three is, in general, it gives you an opportunity for you to develop yourself and to grow yourself, to be an entrepreneur, to be involved in e-commerce, and in general, uplift yourself, right? So it's an opportunity for you to grow. Okay, so if you search on the internet, you will find that many people in the United States and in the US and the European market have used dropshipping to achieve their ideal business growth. Right. So if you can see, it's actually proven successful and feasible across the European market and American market. If you just go to Google and you type, how do I start dropshipping, and how do I start e-commerce, or how do I start dropshipping, you'll find lots of videos on how people started from zero and from scratch, how they built, and because of their positivity and their spirit to try it out, how they have started to make money from it. and it become like a full-time or even a part-time job for them. Okay, if you, for example, if you go to Google Trends, if you actually key the word dropshipping, and you can see the trend, previously, like the past decade up to like 2013, it wasn't that popular. But then up to recently, 2017, because of, e-commerce development and rapid growth, people have started to realize the importance of dropshipping. And you can see that the overall general interest in dropshipping has grown so much since 2017. All right. So that is for the United States. Now, why is Malaysia also good for it as well? I mean, it's a market that people should also tap on for it. It's because you can see the e-commerce market in Southeast Asia has already reached the maturity, kind of like almost reached the maturity point or matured. So online shopping has now became a part of consumers' everyday life. People are going shopping online, they're using different platforms to buy things. So, and that is why the reason that, it's also important that you can also try dropshipping as well, even though you're based in Malaysia. Electronic payments, logistics, these are so much more developed now. You can try it out, okay? So if you want to do it, you can also go to Google, try dropshipping, and change the country to Malaysia. You'll be able to see like the trend of people actually being so much more participative in dropshipping has increased a lot, all right? So now the next question is, what exactly is dropshipping, right? What is dropshipping? So it's a very simple concept. It's not very complex. It is a type of supply chain model that reduces inventory risk and operational costs. You can see many large retail companies have also adopted this, for example, like Walmart, Toys R Us, Best Buy, Target. So these companies have already adopted dropshipping as a model for them to actually ship their products to their customers. Now, in general definition, if you go Google it, dropshipping is actually a supply chain management model where the retailer, which is you, the merchant themselves, do not keep the goods in stock. You don't buy them and put them in your warehouse, but instead it transfers the customer's orders and shipment details to either the manufacturer, another retailer, or a wholesaler. And then this person, the stakeholder, is the one who actually ships the good to the buyer themselves. So you're kind of like the middle person that actually facilitates the order and does the marketing, etc. But you don't really hold the inventories. Okay, so I'll go into more details later, but this is the rough definition for you. Now, key important question as well: how does dropshipping exactly work? Okay, so this is just a sample, a scenario, or just to give you an imagination of how it actually kind of feels like about dropshipping. So what dropshipping actually, how it exactly works is, so this is you. Imagine this is you in the middle. You're the owner of the shop, and you're the owner of the website. You own the website, and you sell the product. Okay, so let's say I'm selling a camping tent. Right? So this is a customer. A buyer actually comes to my website, and he purchases my product, my camping tent, at a retail price of 99 ringgit. I listed it as 99 ringgit. So he purchases from me at 99 ringgit. So all you got to do is, on the right here, this is the product supplier. You, as the merchant, place an order. Once you have received this from the customer, the buyer, you place the order with the product supplier at the wholesale price of 39 ringgit only. So you let the product say, hey, I have an order. Someone's buying this. I need this now. Do you mind shipping to this customer's address? Okay, so 99 ringgit for the retail price from the customer is paying to you, and your expense is actually going out to the product supplier at the only 39 ringgit wholesale price. Okay, so once that is confirmed, the product supplier actually sends the product directly to the buyer's address, and the buyers receive the product. So just because you did this transaction, this is just rough figure, okay, just a rough calculation of order, sales, and etc. So perhaps if you do this, one time, and you may actually make a profit of approximately 60 ringgit. All right, so about 60 ringgit of profit that you actually make from there. So imagine that you've done this one time, you make 60 ringgit, it belongs to you. If you have actually 10 orders, that would be close to around 600 ringgit. And if you have actually more, like if you actually make 100 orders, that gives you about 6,000 ringgit. That's almost like more than an average salary in Malaysia of a full-time person, right? So imagine you actually have 100 orders for this. So is 100 orders really a lot? Probably it's not. It could be considered a lot if you're beginners, But actually, it's not impossible. I mean, it is possible, and there have been a lot of successful cases like this in the United States and in Europe, and or actually even more. They could make even more than that. All right. So now the key part about drop shipping is there is no need for you to bear any inventory storage costs, as the buyers would actually pay you first upfront before you even place an order from the product supplier. So technically, zero inventory pressure plus low operating risk. So there's no high operating risk, and you don't have to be too much worried about inventories because you don't really have the inventories at hand. So yeah, so that's how pretty much exactly how dropshipping works. Now the question is, you might ask, why customers might just buy from you instead of Lazada or Amazon? Yeah, that's right. I mean, that is correct. Customers might just buy cheaper from Lazada or Shopee because there's abundance of these products, right? Yeah, so because of these abundance of these products and at a cheaper price, however, these platforms also suffers from excessive information all over the platform. And sometimes promotion can be very generic, or it can be not buyer-oriented. It's kind of like targeting to the mass consumer, and it's not very tailored or suited to each consumer market. It's very general, and there's a lot of information on marketplaces platform. Okay, so let's listen to what Nico has to say. So Nico Lee is actually one of our dropshipper that we actually interviewed her, and she's actually using SHOPLINE as a platform as well. And also let's hear what she has to say. So she actually said that, yeah, that's correct. People can buy from Lazada or Shopee, but as long as your product pricing is good, you know how to price your product listing is well crafted in the sense of like how do you describe the product, the photos, the photographs of the products, and also further information about the products. As long as these things are well crafted and people actually trustworthy. The keyword is trustworthy. People trust it. Ultimately, customers will be still willing to buy from you. Okay, if you can see, for example, like Lazada, Shopee, these kind of marketplace platforms, a lot of times the product listings are really messy and it's not very clear, and you don't really see any reviews. People don't really know about it. People don't trust it. So trustworthy is the keyword. So if you have something that's trustworthy, customers will eventually still buy from you. All right, so here, let me summarize 3 core reasons as well that she has mentioned to us. Number one is actually it's hard for market platforms or marketplaces, for example, to showcase the true value of the product. So if you can compare like this to pictures over here, this is an example of exactly the same product. This is on the e-commerce marketplace, and you can see here is 1550 ringgit, and on an independent website is USD 27.90. All right, but as you can see on the picture, right, comparing the 2 pictures, which one do you find is more vivid and more interesting? I would definitely feel it's definitely this one, because if you have your own independent website, for example, you're able to customize. You are able to put in more creative information on the product page itself. Like for example, more nicer pictures, reviews. You can add videos as well, and you can also do advertising. For example, tying in it to a Facebook advertisement. Whereas on the marketplace, it could be a little bit general. There's kind of like quite a bit of limitation that you can do, right? Okay, so the next one is also using the right channel, deliver the right products to the right customers. So you want to be able to, help the customers to create values for them by actually helping them to choose the right products. So it's not just about, like letting them go outside to marketplaces and find a whole massive list of products. What you're helping them to do is you filter from a massive list of products, narrowing it down, and also helping them listing it on the suitable channels that they are very accessible to. So what you do is, for example, you highlight a couple of products on your website, you really make it nice, and then later you actually list it using tools such as like Facebook advertisements or Instagram. And once you do that, you actually allow them to discover your products. So remember that you're actually creating a value for your customers when you're doing something like that. All right, so number 3 is remember as well that consumers are very subjective when it comes to shopping. All right, so for example, I'm just giving you a very simple example, coffee shop A and coffee shop B, right? So there are these 2 coffee shops. They are pretty much similar, but in terms of the pricing, This one sells $12.90 and the other one sells at $7.90. But both shops actually source the same coffee. It sells exactly the same coffee. But sometimes consumers might just go to the coffee shop A and just pick the one that's a little bit more expensive. Now, the reason is because maybe it has some sort of attraction point that brings people to coffee shop A. Is a little bit more vivid, or is a little bit, it has some sort of retains the customer a little bit better. So consumers are very subjective. So at times they really consider, like just going for the more premium one, rather than just going to the normal one, the coffee shop B, but they go for something that's a little bit more premium because it has some sort of attraction point to it. So remember, consumers are always subjective when it comes to shopping. Okay, so therefore, as a drop shipper, remember that drop shipping is actually a global division of stakeholders, and each of the stakeholders are performing their own duties and their own responsibilities. So this is like a quick value chain that I want to show you, and to just give you a rough idea on how it is. So as a drop shipper, the value of you as a drop shipper, what you need to do is actually, you must do a good job in doing product selection. You need to be able to optimize your materials, for example, your product listings, your product description, photography, and etc. You also need to excel or be able to do the right promotion and after sales service as well. So after sales, as in like when the customer has any issues, you need to be always there to make sure to facilitate and etc. So you just need to do a good job in this following task along the value chain process. Okay, so manufacturers. You don't need to worry about manufacturing the product. You don't need to worry about too much about production of the product. You don't need to worry about storing the product under warehouse management, because these are handled by the manufacturers or the retailers themselves, the product suppliers themselves. So you don't need to worry too much about it. But you as a drop shipper, all you need to do is to make sure, and also order delivery. Order delivery as well is also covered by the manufacturer or the product supplier. So all you're going to focus on, we have already, according to the dropshipping chain, you can see you eliminate all these efforts that you naturally need to take in. So all you need to do is you have to focus only on these core activities, the 4 core activities, for example, like this one, so product selection, optimize, and etc. So you don't have to worry too much about this. So this gives you more time. It gives you more time to actually look into all these matters and optimize them, right? So that is what dropshipping is about in terms of having a global division of stakeholders. Okay. So now, just to give you a very successful case, I want to share with you. This is a very successful dropshipping seller. Her name is Nicole Lee. She said this year she's 27 years old, and she's from Penang, Malaysia. And she has successfully founded a full-time business. And around a year, from a year from now, like today, she's currently earning. We've interviewed her, and she actually said to us she's kind of like making around 12,000 per month. We kind of calculated it's around there. All right. So just to give you a background about Nicole and how she started dropshipping and etc. Nicole graduated from Taiwan back in 2017, and she's now back in Kuala Lumpur in KL for work, and she's working in a travel agency. Okay. So when she's back in KL, she came back after her education. Her parents always reminded her that she needs to find a good job, but at the same time, she needs to also, be able to do something on her own and, support herself and also the family. So, just doing a full-time job is not something that she 100% believe in. She really also wanted to do something on her own at 2018, right? So yeah, in 2018, she learned about direct sales for health products through her friend, actually. But she tried it a little while, and it didn't kind of go too well. She kind of failed. She kind of failed a couple of times to do direct sales because she found out that she wasn't very good at selling things directly to people. She wasn't a very front-facing person. She's not very comfortable in pitching to people and convincing them to buy the direct sales product immediately. Right, so it didn't kind of work out for her. But after ending the direct sales business while she was running her professional work, she kind of heard about dropshipping when early online dropshipping in early 2019. So she actually did a little bit more research about it, and she thought that this could be a business that she could try. So because she also realized that Malaysians started to buy online a little bit more and more every single year. So with that, she started to do dropshipping business in April, and it took her kind of about a month to actually get her first order. So her first order was actually selling children's a toy, and which was not actually through like a lot of heavy advertising and etc. All she did was she actually has the first store, a website, and she actually has a toy, and then later on she actually joined like a Facebook moms and housewife community on Facebook, and she actually promotes her website and her toys over there, and without spending too much any advertising fee, just participating in community activities like Facebook groups, and that's how she got her first order. Okay, so in another 3 months by doing that, she kind of made about 1,500. She made her very first proper sales of 1,500 ringgit through dropshipping in 3 months time in last year in 2019. And she was kind of confident, a little bit confident that this could be a business as she did. So she began to start to invest 1-2 hours in the business, studying how to, like 1-2 hours per day, aside from her full-time job. But she also had to learn how to invest into, put her effort into learning Facebook advertisement, how to manage a Facebook page, how to do Facebook advertising, and also how to put up product materials and make the optimize the website to make it look a little bit better. All right. So the second store, she tried a couple of times. Yes, she tried again. The second store, she used Facebook for advertising, but she only kind of did earn a little bit, just about 300 ringgit. So she actually learned close the store. Then she'd start off that the third store, which she actually she first started with very basic Facebook advertising, which she kind of picked up a little bit. Second store, but the third store, what she did was she actually deep dive into further on how she can manage using Facebook advertisement, and because of that, she learned from experience. And then she tried the third store and didn't kind of work, where she actually sells like like soap, bath gels and soap and etc. So then later on, when she actually started her fourth store, she actually made about 5,000 ringgit from there. And that was kind of like really impressive for her. She was really happy about it because it actually exceeded her basic salary for almost 2 years, her basic salary at her full-time job, right? So with that, she felt very happy, and she continued doing it on the side and over the weekends as well. So now, jumping back to present time, with the 2020 epidemic of the COVID-19 and the virus, she's in tourism agency. So in the tourism industry, service industry, hospitality, it was a really tough time. And she actually kind of, a boss told her that she has to get half the pay of what she's getting, and in order a full-time job, remaining as a full-timer, but getting only half pay from there. So at that point of time, she reached the peak where she said, since I'm already running my side business, my dropshipping side business, why don't I do it? I put in devote more time for it, and to pay more attention to it. So she actually resigned and devote herself to be a full-time dropshipper. Okay, so from there, she's currently doing it full time, and her income is actually kind of like almost 1.5 or double the one that she was while she was doing part time. So she became a full time dropshipper entrepreneur during this COVID-19. Okay, so now aside from that, what's more interesting, because she has been doing this for almost coming to 3 years now, 2.5. Okay, 2.5 years, and during this period of time where everyone's trying to go online to sell something, Nicole actually received invitation for businesses around her, family businesses, and also some offline brands, because she's been doing a great job. They reach out to her and ask them if she could teach them and even treat her kind of like a guru to operate and to help them to run their online business. All right, so she became quite popular, and now even offline brands are approaching her. So that's how powerful dropshipping is if you actually start from scratch, and just the introduction is hard, but you actually start from scratch and you make it your way, and you keep trying and try and error. So what she said, which was very important, was dropshipping is a business that requires strong persistence and continuous efforts in trial and error in order to achieve the best results. Okay, so now, of course, after interviewing with Nicole, she also mentioned that, we also did some research, and we found that not everything has this, is always beautiful and it's always has its advantage. As you can see, Nicole's story was really difficult and it was challenging, but she somehow managed to make it, right? So there are challenges for drop shippings as well. And it's a result of these advantages that you can actually see from drop shipping. So the first challenge that drop shipping actually has is that it's a lower threshold industry for e-commerce. It is kind of prone to competition. What I mean is that maybe you have sold this product very well. You're very good at selling this product, but don't forget, like a lot of people, rivals might just appear because they know like this product is doing good. So it can be very competitive at times. But of course, you can always break this off if you try to operate a couple of multiple product. You have multiple product lines. All right. So competition. Number 2 is product supplier. Now remember that because you actually don't ship the product directly, or prepare or ship the product directly to the buyers or the customers, you might at times have some issues with like after sales service problems. For example, like you need to deal with like wrong goods or wrong product being shipped to the customer complain about it, or even like the buyer receiving the item that has a defect, for example. So these are certain things that could be an issue for you if you're doing drop shipping, but there are some ways if you're able to find a good supplier, that is very important, and you'll be able to ensure a better quality. Now, the third one is also in general drop shipping, because you're not part of the manufacturing chain, part of the manufacturing process. You might find that it's a little bit, you have a little bit low control over the product itself. All right. So now you can see that these are the challenges, right? I'm sure in your head you're thinking that these are the challenges to you, correct? But always remember that drop shipping remains a very good starting point. It's a very good 0 to 1 starting point for you to venture into e-commerce business if you're really interested. So it's a good start-off point. At least you try it and you really get your head start on e-commerce. All right. So now I've reached the end of the first chapter. I'll be moving to the second chapter. Let me just take a quick break before we start. Just give me about 30 seconds. I'll be able to quick start this with you. Oh, yes, don't forget, if you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat box and ask me any questions. And also let us know over the WhatsApp group and etc. Okay? Give me a few seconds. I'm just going to prepare the contents. All right, welcome back, everyone. So after listening to the first half of the session, I really hope that you have a general idea about what dropshipping is about. So now I'm going to show you or teach you about like how do you start dropshipping. And the subtopics are how do you start to choose a product for dropshipping, where do you select a product on AliExpress, for example, because we are directly working with AliExpress, and how do you choose a product supplier from AliExpress? How do you use SHOPLINE Catcher to export or upload products quickly? So this SHOPLINE Catcher is a new feature that is the one that actually helps you to connect with AliExpress. And I will be showing you, I'll be giving you a demonstration about it as well. And I'll go through it one by one, okay? So, all right, so number 1, how do you select a product? So this is probably the question that everyone on the internet should have been thinking about. Like, you probably have think about like, I'll spend a lot of time thinking about it. Like, how should I choose the product? I spend a lot of time researching the market and selecting products. There are a lot of products that's on demand, but how can I select products? All right. So the most important thing is, first of all, is to spend time, and some energy and some effort to actually do some market research and to find the so-called niche market. What we are recommending is actually to focus on the niche market. Now, in particular, the mistakes that often people make is that when you talk about niche market, people think that niche market is a market where nobody knows about it, or people think that niche market is a new market where nobody actually is doing it. Okay, but it's actually not. It's not that way. It's not. It's kind of a misconception. But niche market is actually in the small market, in the big market, and within the big market itself, the huge market itself. So, for example, let me just give you a very simple example. Like, think about food catering or food business, right? The food F&B business is a big market. You know, you get like hot pot, you get barbecue, you get Chinese, Korean, Japanese, or Indian vegetarian cuisine. So these are all like subcategories of under the food and F&B, right? But if you actually open a dessert shop or an ice cream shop that actually is serving vegetarian-based product, ice cream product, you quickly make yourself stand out and you become a more specific one. You're an expert in your own field. And this is what we call a niche market, where it's not something that nobody knows about it, but it's a smaller subset within the big market itself, all right? So that's what we call by a niche. So now I'm going to tell you, how do you find your own niche market that's suitable for drop shipping? So there are 3 ways on how you can do it. And, you know, often the most, like I said, the most difficult process is to determine which product you should sell as a drop shipper, right? So here are the 3 angles that you can approach. The first one is actually observe your daily surroundings and your happenings. Number 2 is combining your own interests and expertise. Number 3, using tools to actually help you to make those decisions. All right, so I'm going to go through one by one. So the first one is actually observe your daily surrounding and happenings. You know, what I mean is that, you know, just look around you, see what's happening, you know, see what's surrounding you. You will always be able to somehow find some inspiration by just observing the surrounding beside you, and also what are the things that's happening in your everyday life. Very good example, like, you know, because of recent, you know, COVID-19 epidemic in the first half of the year, you can see that a lot of industries were affected, as particularly the travel, hospitality industry, right? But then again, there are some, on the other hand, you would see certain industries or categories actually witness and in fact actually have a very good positive growth. So if you remember during the period where in Malaysia we have the MCO and it was very difficult for people, people start to work out a little. In fact, myself, people start to work out a little bit more, you know, like me. I spend 4 to 5 days a week in my room or in my living room working out. You know, people start to exercise a little bit more because they feel like there's nothing much to do aside from working from home and, you know, doing and just being around the family. So they start to do exercise a little bit more. People start to cook a little bit more. People cook 3 meals a day, perhaps 2 meals a day, or even learning how to do some hobby style kind of cooking, like baking cakes or cookies. You realize people start to play games a little bit more, you know, participate in family gaming activities like through game devices or electronics, watching TV. People buy television. People also, you know, participate in karaoke, home karaoke sessions, and etc. And also, there are people also looking out to, like, you know, thinking about, oh man, when this COVID is over, you know, I want to go out and slow down. I want to go outdoor. I want to do some camping. I want to do some hiking. I really miss the nature. You know, I want to miss going to the islands, etc. So now that justifies a lot. That kind of tells you that throughout this period of time, it gives you an insight that, you know, what kind of products or categories that you focus on based on this experience, these happenings. So if you can see, the industry that actually focuses on drop shipping for fitness-related equipments, gears, apparels, cooking utensils, electronic entertainment and gadget devices, and also outdoor products, these kind of things kind of experience a positive growth, these industries, and people are actually buying them during this period of time, even more than before. So exactly, this is a very good example of how you can observe your surroundings and happenings. So you need to look at it, observe it, and see what is the trend. And that is where you'll be able to narrow down from the massive list of different types of products into certain smaller categories of products that you can actually focus on. All right? So that's how you can use this approach. Now, the second approach is actually through combining your own interests and your own expertise. Okay, so through your own interest and expertise, you can also deep dive into specific field and mind map several relevant products that you think that could be relevant for you to participate in dropshipping and sell them to your customers. You know, but also what I mean is also by combining it with your own experience, it gives you an idea of what kind of products you can sell, right? Because if you already know, like you really like, for example, I love camping. I love going out to nature, you know, and I've been doing it for many years. I know what's best. I know what's best for the customers, right? So this gives you, it narrows you the time for you to do research to understand the broad number of products, but you know what you're exactly good at. And you know the category better than anyone else. This gives you the opportunity to resonate or, you know, get closer to consumers because you already know what are the problems they are facing and what are the things, the product they are looking for, the materials or, you know, the things they are looking for. So a very good example that I'll give to you is a friend of mine, Ariel, and she was my colleague 3 years ago. And she started when she first joined the company that I was working in. She was not so active in outdoor activities. But because of, you know, all of us convincing her all the time, she started to have the passion for outdoor activities, especially like hiking and camping, because we do a lot of that. And because of that, she over the years, from a beginner itself, she became an expert because she talked to all of us. She's really into it. She got so into it that, you know, she even, you know, asked us questions like, you know, what kind of equipments and things that I should really get if I'm planning to do a Gunung Tahan, you know, going for a hike in Gunung Tahan. So she really is very active in it, and because of that, over the years, she became she became an expert by herself on camping and how to do outdoor activities. So because of that, she also recently got into drop shipping, right? So last year she got into drop shipping, and she realized that, you know, she was thinking in her head, like she said, I think I can try to, you know, share my experience also and my interests with other customers, because people who are interested in camping and hiking for beginners level, they might need certain accessories, and I think these are the ones that are good for them. So she started doing her own dropshipping business, you know, focusing on mountaineering, climbing, and camping accessories, but also a few like, you know, like women's fashion apparels for outdoor activities, and then now. Her core focus is actually on mountaineering sunglasses, sleeping bags, compasses, GPS, and walkie-talkie. So she kind of narrows down to, like, over the years, she understands that what people really want and what general consumers are buying. So she narrows down to these particular products. And there she goes. She's doing drop shipping now, selling these camping, just because she combined it with her own interest and expertise. Now, the third part is actually to use, if you know you already have certain directions in mind, and you maybe have certain products that you have in mind, but you can also use certain tools to help you to select products, to, you know, to narrow down your search so you don't spend too much time. So for example, to find popular keywords, perhaps you use Google Trends. I'm going to show you quickly on what Google Trends is if you're not familiar with it. So Google Trends is a platform by Google where you can quickly search what are the key popular terms or topic that people are looking for, right? So of course, since you are in Malaysia, make sure that you change this to Malaysia first. All right, so this is a good way that you want to search. So for example, if I want to know, like, I want to know what people think about camping tent. I want to know what's the traction point that people are interested in camping tent. I've selected Malaysia. I selected camping tent, sorry. All right, so you can see in Google Trends, you are able to actually look at the interest. So the most interesting part is the interest over time. So if you can see, like, from 20, you can change the time as well, the time frame, the period of time, the custom time range, from 2019 onwards to 2020. So you can see it's very obvious that January onward, like, it kind of slowed down. People are searching for camping tent, but then, you know, over time, you can see a couple of spikes in June, May, and June, and then all the way now, like recently, just very, very recent, July, it picked all the way up to 100. You know, where people are actually really searching for camping tent. So this is a good way using Google Trends. You can always type in the keywords that you want to type in the term, and then you can also compare it with other tools, for example, like sleeping bag. So you can see which are the things that actually people are looking for. All right, and it also tells you exactly where the sub-region where the search interest is really, really high. Okay. So that's how you use Google Trend. I will not go into details. You can also use social media tools, for example, like TikTok, Instagram, Bigo, or Pinterest to kind of evaluate or analyze what people are really interested in. Okay. The next one is actually analytical tools. You can use certain analytical tools, for example, like Big Spy or Find Niche. So Find Niche is I'm just going to show you a demo of this quickly. So Find Niche is a platform where you can quickly find a niche, what in general people are interested in, especially if people what people are shopping for, like AliExpress and Shopify, for example, what people are generally interested. So to quickly access Find Niche, just go to findniche.com, log in. You can log in with your Gmail if you want, so it's much more easier. I would prefer to do that. Just gonna log in now. Just give me a moment. All right, so I'm here. All you gotta do is go to niches, and you'll be able to type in the keywords. So you can see what are the popular items that actually appears on AliExpress, etc. So let's say camping tent, right? Right. So camping tent. Let's do a search. And there you go. So you'll be able to find what are the people. So it shows you like the number of orders over the past 7 days, and the growth rate in terms of profit, and the growth rate in terms of the product itself, and etc. And also the price of the product. So you can see like what are the hottest items that people actually are buying on this platform. Okay, so Find Niche is a good platform where you can actually subscribe to if you want to use the premium one, and you can actually do more research about it. Okay, so that's about Find Niche. You can also use other platforms, for example, like AliExpress, Top Selection, Shopee, Lazada, to actually do, to compile and do some research over it, and to help you determine like what kind of products that you can select from. Okay. Now, everybody, just a reminder that everybody's product selection logic might be a little bit different, but these three on top that I've mentioned above, it's not in order. It depends on how you want to use it. And so some people actually, do use because of this, of their own interest, then they spend more. Then they narrow down the products, and then they do the research, or vice versa, the other way around. You can also use the tools first to find out what's interesting, and also combining it with the daily surroundings and happenings. So it's not really fixed. It depends on how you actually approach in terms of your research. Okay. Now, just to give you a quick summary, it's not summary, but more like a dropshipping product selection criteria. So just like a reference point especially for selecting a product in Malaysia. Just to give you a reference price based on the experience that we have gathered from other dropshippers. All right. So based on this, and for the Malaysian market, it's kind of there's a few points. Average price. So for the Malaysian market, you might want to consider looking for the range of product, the price of the range, product price range that kind of allows the buyers to make quick decisions. For example, like 100 ringgit, something that's around 100 ringgit where people can make quick decisions. You don't want to give you don't want to sell something that's 3,500 or 4,500 because that requires, for example, like microchips, computer chips or graphic cards, which you can still sell them, but it's a little bit more tricky because you want something that makes people buy quick. They decide quickly and they just buy it straight. So that's kind of like our recommended price range. Of course, it is approximate. And in terms of product scarcity, you want to find products that's not really easy to find, or it could be really hard to find locally. Something that's not really easily available. You want to find something that's a little bit harder to find. So product scarcity is very important. Something urgency in the sense that something that actually the buyers are willing to wait for a longer time and to actually purchase. So they purchase the product, but they are willing to wait a little bit longer. So for example, things like a camping tent, right? So a camping tent, a buyer doesn't mind waiting a little bit longer. They have a longer patience and longer waiting time as compared to, if you're selling snacks or dry food products, where the consumer expects dry food to be really fast because they really want to consume it now. But a camping tent, probably not so fast, right? So you want to have something that's has a longer, consumers or buyers can wait a little bit longer. Now, buying pattern, impulsive. What I mean by this is actually you want to create this sense of urgency to have the people to place the order directly. You want them to like, oh, I see this, I like it, I buy it. You want to create that kind of perception. So products that has this creates this perception is very good because it tells the buyer, oh, I saw this product, I like it, and I'll just take it, I'll grab it right away. So you want to have a product that's like has this characteristics towards the buyers. Okay. You also want the product to be a little bit unique. It has to be interesting, and it has to be very creative, or at least creatively described to the buyers. Okay. The last one is actually low after sales or return rate. You don't want to sell a product that will actually cause a lot of like after sales or return issues. Like a product, for example, like a product that requires the customer to manually build from scratch, like some kind of like furniture or something like that. You don't want it to be that way, because this results in a lot of questions, a lot of back and forth question answer session between you, talking to the customer, saying, I don't know how to fix this, I don't like it, it's broken, it doesn't work, I want to return it. So you don't want to look for products that like that. All right. Okay. So now, based on the three, I want to let you know that for this is a beginner's session. I understand it could be sometimes a little bit difficult, but of course, that again is finding a popular product is a very important part of the process of starting a dropshipping. So throughout the session as well, you've learned that there's 3 approaches and scenario that I've already shared with you. You might want to start thinking about what kind of dropshipping product that you can sell based on the 3 approaches that I've mentioned. When you're free, when you have the time after the session, feel free to think about it. Let us know, and try to experiment it on your own. Okay, so this will be like a small little task for you. You want to start thinking about what is the dropshipping product that you want to sell. Okay. Now, the third session, which is I want to cover, is where do you select products? All right. So now go through the best platform that I want to tell you about. I want to recommend to you today is actually AliExpress, which is probably the most suitable platform for dropshipping beginners. All right, those people who are starting from zero and you want to have a quick start for dropshipping. And it's also a platform that we are working with already. So let me just give you a quick explanation. AliExpress is owned by Alibaba, and it is the most used global platform for dropshipping merchants. There are more than about 100 million products as an option for you to pick from. And it has a high pricing competitiveness, which means that you have a good buffer for profit margin. It is optimized and do support dropshipping. And because it is it's by Alibaba, it's based in China, where a lot of manufacturing or retailers are based in, they do a lot of research, and it kind of, they release new products and new and innovative products really fast. Okay. So that's why we would recommend AliExpress, and I will show you actually today on how do you do it. So the first one is actually, the key is to actually how do you select a product supplier on AliExpress. So these are the key criteria that you want to look at. Number one is actually the seller must have a positive seller rating of 4.5 stars and above. And they do support delivery to the destination country, which is the buyer's country, your customer's country, with sufficient coverage for at least, I would suggest to be generally more than 2.5 times. Okay, complete with product descriptions, and you want to make sure that the product supplier actually supports drop shipping. So maybe you want to contact the supplier. You want to make sure you be able to reach out to the supplier before confirming the placement of order. You want to be able to talk to the supplier. And of course, most important as well, the supplier actually supports customer service and after-sales service. So after the customer received the buyer or the customer received the product, you want to make sure that they actually work with you to solve the problems if there is a problem. All right. So let me just show you quickly on how you could do access AliExpress. All right. I'll just go with this. So www.aliexpress.com. I would recommend you to, since you'll be using this platform, to actually have an account. So you can actually click on here, account. Oh, first, number one, change this to Malaysia first. So change country to Malaysia. Language, put English, and you can put your currency in Malaysian ringgit. Malaysian ringgit, yes. And once you're done, just click save. All right, so then you want to have an account. So to create an account is very simple, very fast. All you gotta do is click on here, account, joined, and you can register either with your email, create a password to create an account, or you can also log in with your Gmail account if you have the Gmail or your Facebook. Okay, so for this demo, I'm just gonna sign in as using my Gmail. Give me a moment. All right, there you go. Okay, so remember that I was showing you like how do you select a product supplier? You want to make sure that the product supplier, for example, I'm taking this product. So how do you quickly see the seller? Like to look at the seller's profile is once you click onto a product, you will be able to see down here. So this is it. All right, so you see, for example, this one, this is the name of the seller, Nature Hike Official Store. All right, and you can see the rating as well. How many positive feedback it has? Is it a top brand? And how many followers do you have? The seller has. So you want to make sure that they have followers, they have good positive feedback, and etc. Okay, and of course for the you want to also make sure that they support delivery to the destination country. So for example, like this one, right? So if it ships from China, you want to make sure that it also provides shipping. For example, shipping to Malaysia, ships to Malaysia. Okay, and then you also want to make sure the seller, when they are selling the product, it has complete product and description. Like these are really complete. For example, description of the product, information about the product, really detailed information about the product, sample pictures, additional product photos, and shipping service, and things like that, and also like delivery method. And you also want to be secure. You also want to see customer reviews as well to make sure that there's customer reviews, that people actually bought it and actually use it. So those are some key things. And now also you want to make sure that they support customer service and after sales service. So you want to be able to reach out to them. So on this AliExpress, all you got to do is actually click on contact. I mean, if you want to, you can always have a chat with them. So make sure that you chat with them and talk to them. So for example, here you can type a message to the seller. All right. So you want to make sure you do that the seller is active, proactive in communicating and etc. All right. Okay, so that's kind of how you choose select a product supplier on AliExpress. But as I would recommend, our recommendation is actually to try to choose 2 to 3 high quality suppliers. So that helps you to better facilitate your order management and avoid you from taking a lot of risk. So you want to be able to choose a trustworthy and a seller that you can actually trust and can work with. All right. Okay, so now how can you start your dropshipping business easily with SHOPLINE? I want to also be able to share with you that since this session is also for me to share that we are working with AliExpress already, and there is an intelligent dropshipping feature which is called Catcher, and Catcher actually helps you to do a one-click export, order placement, and so on. So what it means is that from AliExpress, you're able to click export, take a product. Let's say if you find a product that you like on AliExpress and you want to sell it, you really know that you want to sell this product and there are people willing to buy it. So all you got to do is you actually use this Catcher feature and you can actually export it onto your SHOPLINE website. At the moment of time, I think you should already have your SHOPLINE website, or we are in the midst of creating the website for you. So, so how does it work? So when you actually put it here, so let's say if you take the product listing, you put it over here, you carry it over here to the website, then you'll be able to show it to your buyers. Your customer will be able to see the product. So when they actually see the product, they will actually buy it on your website, and that's where you can actually, click order and reach out to the supplier to ship the product to the customer, to the buyer, right? So let me show you how it kind of works. I'll show you exactly step by step how you can do it on this Catcher product selection. So Catcher product selection is what you see is what you get, and you only need one click to quickly catch or grab the product listing that you want from AliExpress. Now I'm going to show you how it works. Okay, so let's say, okay, before I start going to show you how to copy the product from AliExpress to put into your website. Now, assuming this is my website, okay, this is a website that I'm using, and I want to be able to. The goal that I'm trying to achieve here is, let me just go back. Let's say I want to put, I want to sell a camping tent. I want to sell my camping tent. 1 second, let me just load it. All right, so let's say I want to sell this one, this camping tent. I'll take this as a sample. All right, I want to put this. I'm really interested to sell this. I want to sell this to my customers on my SHOPLINE website. So how can I do it? So all I gotta do, this is my website. All right. So all I gotta do is actually I need to have this feature, which is called the SHOPLINE Catcher, that is actually embedded inside to. As I mentioned before, in this end of the session, there will be a questionnaire. So if you actually fill out the questionnaire, we will be able to give you this feature, which is SHOPLINE Catcher, for free. And it will be under Report and Analytics when you log into your admin account. Now, if you don't know how, this is how your admin account looks like, your general back system, your admin panel, that you can manage your SHOPLINE website. This is my website, and this is the one that you can do the settings and etc. for. Okay, so if you're not sure how you can access this, there is a tutorial that we can send it to you on how you can log in and how you can manage your website, etc. It is a YouTube video that I've created as well. It was done by me. So if you need that, just feel free to reach us out on your WhatsApp group and let us know. We will be able to send you the link for the tutorial for you to follow. Okay, so for this one, to have this SHOPLINE Catcher, you need to fill out the questionnaire at the end, and we'll be able to give it to you. But for this demo, I'm just going to show you how where it's going to be located. It will be inside, if you're on your admin panel, Report and Analytics here. Then it will be under Smart Product Selector. There will be a feature here that says Smart Product Selector. Okay, so all you got to do is click on it. Okay, so now English, I'm just going to put in English, and there will be a button here, Drop Shipping and Manage Products. And this is where you can see the products that you are trying to export from AliExpress to your SHOPLINE website. Okay, so now to do that, there is one more additional step that you actually need to take to actually be able to do this, to pull the information, for example, like this product, and pull it and put it inside here. Okay, so how to do that is you need to go to, it's a feature that's developed by us. So it's actually, if you're using Chrome, Google Chrome, you can use Google Chrome. It's an extension that you can use, and you can add it inside, add to Chrome. All right. So to find it, I'll show you how you do it. So let's say if you're already on Google, all you got to do is type SL Catcher, and you should be able to find it. Chrome.google.com. This one. There you go. And then you'll be able to add this on to your Google Chrome. Don't forget, this is only for desktop, yeah, for webs, if you're using a computer. The interface for mobile is a little bit different. Okay, so once you have installed this, now to do that, now I've already got the product I want. Let's say, let me just show you again. I want this camping tent. You will be able to see there will be a yellow button at the bottom here, if you can see that, a plus button. All you got to do is you click on this. Okay, you will automatically add. There's an added button. All right. And now if I go back to here in SHOPLINE Catcher, if I refresh my page, it will be there. There you go. Very fast, very easy, very fast, very quick. And this is where you can also change the description of the product. So remember, this is the product, right? So these are the product information, for example, like the price, the different variation, different type of color. and the description of the product in text format, and also some pictures, some banners, and etc. So with this, it's over here in the description where you can actually even change it. Let's say for sale only to, it's like Microsoft Word where you can type, you can make changes for it. Only for sale only to Malaysia, and so on. Right, so you can make the changes of the description. If you don't want to show certain description, you can also delete them if you don't want to, and etc. Or if you want to insert more pictures, you can also do that. All right. So that's how you do this for description. Now, it will automatically. What's amazing about this feature as well is it also automatically detects the variation that it has on the AliExpress platform. For example, if you go up, like there's 5 different type of color. Yes, so exactly the same. It will also automatically pulls out the variation for you, like this, and with the SKU number as well. Okay, and this is the price that's appearing on AliExpress, if you can see. And this is 102.29, and this is also 10. Okay, 102. So you can actually change the price. So this here, if you look at your website, normally there will be like this price, 69 ringgit. This is the retail price, the original price that the customers are looking at, and this is the sales price that you're looking at, where your customers can see. So this is where you can change it. So for example, that this is 102 on AliExpress. Perhaps you want to sell it at the normal price is let's put it at 120. All right, let's put it at 140. I'll show you an example. All right, so there you go. We can automatically quickly change the price of the product variation for each of it, and it also tells you like the profit that you kind of like the approximate profit that you kind of make from there. So this is the one that you put for the normal price where the customers can see on your website, and this is under price is where you can put in the sales price. So this is /off and 49 ringgit. Yeah, so this is the one where you can see it. So this is under price here is where you can set a new value. And you can put in the price. Let's say a sales price is 120 ringgit. There you go. All right, so there you go. So that's how pretty much you can change the price of your, set the price for your products over here in the variation. And under images as well, this is where you can also, it will also automatically copy the main product photos for you, see, like this ones, right? So it automatically copies the photos. You can select which one you want to display, which one you want to include or exclude, for example. So you don't have to manually, like screenshot this or right-click and etc. Save as picture, and also it doesn't allow you to do it as well. So with this feature, SHOPLINE Catcher is very fast. It helps you to do it. So all you got to do is let's say if I want it to appear on my website now. All I got to do is once I've already checked all of this information, all I got to do is click on the action button here, import to store. Just wait for a while. All right, now that's done. Now go back to your admin panel for SHOPLINE. You go to product and categories. Under products, it should appear here now. And there you go. So that's where it is. Voila, finally it's here. Now the last step is to actually click on the blue button, which is to publish the item. So you click on the blue button, publish. And now let's do a test again. Go to shop all. And there you go. This is where it appears. Voila. Finally, the item is on your website now. Okay, so it's very simple to use Catcher, and using this Catcher is kind of like, this feature is kind of like a middleman. It helps you to quickly grab the product title, the product description, the pictures, and so on, within one click, and it helps you to put it here. So now that's the beauty about this using SHOPLINE Catcher to quickly export products. Okay, it's very convenient, and it helps you to quickly do the job, so you don't spend too much time doing a lot of manual work. Now, if you want to understand how our system can help you to to do your order management when the customer actually sees the product, they buy it, how to do order management, and also the processes along the way. I did like the how do you manage this? Let's say if this is the image that you already exported, right? So you want to, edit certain information, you can do that, and so on. How can you edit the product information and etc. You can do that. It will be there is a tutorial that I've mentioned earlier that if you need it, we can send it to you on how you manage the fundamental parts of your Shopline website. Okay, so this session is only about how to show you how to export it. Now I'll repeat again the benefits of this catcher. It is free to use because we are giving you guys the opportunity to use and test it, and really hoping that you'll be able to actually start your own dropshipping business from here, to pull some products from AliExpress. Helps you to export the product. It saves time, helps you to improve efficiency, and so on and so forth. Okay. So, of course, there's a few notes before coming to the end of this, almost close to the end of the session. Just a couple of key notes that I want to let you know. AliExpress does not support cash on delivery. AliExpress product suppliers also do not accept buyer products return on exchanges, or in general, most of them do not accept buyer returns and exchanges. So you're going to be careful of that. Make sure, like I've mentioned, you got to get a good, try to secure a good 2 to 3 or even more high quality suppliers. Work with suppliers that are high quality. Make sure that they fulfill all these requirements before you actually get to put it up onto your Shopline website to sell it. And since the product information on AliExpress is in English, I would recommend the language of your online store to be in English. All right, so all you gotta do is just at the top here, remember how I did the setting for English and etc. So those are a couple of keynotes that I want you to know about AliExpress, and I really hope that you can actually use it. Try it out. Like after this session, there will be a questionnaire, and you can try it out once we have given you the feature access. Now, my final advice, we have come to the end actually. My final advice for you is, since this is a beginner's course, if you can see from the success story of Nicole and also some other stories that I've shared with you, dropshipping is a business that requires to, a lot of trial and error and practice. It's just like learning something new. You always got to practice. You have to practice. You have to put in the effort and time to practice in order to be better, right? You always have to practice to be better. So it's the same for dropshipping business. You need to really look for the product, really do some research, spend some time on it when you're free, and do it. Okay, and also focus also on like how you're thinking of creative ways on how you can market the product, either through advertising, through Facebook ads, and etc. All right, so practice makes perfect. It makes practice to make it good. Simple as that. All right. Now, we've reached the end. Now, this is the end of the beginner's session. I hope this session is useful and it gives you a good insight about dropshipping, and it gives you a better understanding of how the model works. And I really hope you test out the SHOPLINE Catcher feature, so you can actually really get your hands on and quickly pull products from AliExpress to try it out on your website. Okay, so to do that, to get the feature, all I need you to do is actually scan the code here, and you'll be able to receive the activity gift pack. Okay, this is a QR code. So I got you to do is actually to scan the code to fill in the questionnaire. There will be a questionnaire for you to complete. So upon finishing the questionnaire, you'll be able to get we'll be able to activate the catcher feature for you. Okay, this is complimentary from our side, and we'll also be giving you access to the advanced course that will be happening later on. Not today, but another day. We'll let you know when it is going to be. And it's actually for free for you as well. All I need you to do is just scan this code, fill in the questionnaire, and we will reach out to you after that, okay, to let you know about the feature. Or vice versa, if you have any questions, please reach out to us via WhatsApp. We'll be happy to answer your questions and etc. Now, I'll be giving you some time to scan this QR code and to do the questionnaire, about 2 minutes. Now, you can't access the QR code. Please let us know on the WhatsApp group, or you can also access it here. Visit your browser here at this website. Just type in on your browser this link, and you'll be able to get into the questionnaire as well. And because upon finishing the questionnaire, we will have your email, and we know who you are. We'll be able to reach out to you. Okay, so I'll give you 2 minutes to scan this and complete the questionnaire. I'll still be here. If you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to us on the WhatsApp group or use the chat box. Okay, so thank you so much. This is Melvin here, representing Shopline Malaysia, and I also have my colleague with me, Chris and Peichi, who is also part of the Catcher program as well. So let us know if you have any questions, and I hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you so much, and have a great day. I'll be here for 2 minutes. Thank you.